The next area I want to talk about is software-defined product. And this is such an important area, and you see more and more companies focusing on software-defined product. And so really the challenge here is pretty simple, which is software has its own tool chain and life cycle. Hardware has its own tool chain and life cycle. And what customers are asking us is, how do you bring this together? And the particular thing that our customers are asking for help on is they're asking for help on DevSecOps and how to fit everything in a integrated CI/CD pipeline, continuous verification with Mill-Sill-Hill, functional safety, cybersecurity, and compliance. I want to talk about a couple things that we're doing here. In partnership with IBM, we're really driving on Rhapsody for system architecture, and we've done a lot of work here. We've done work to improve the user experience. We've done work to improve the integration with the PLM backbone. We've done work to integrate with electrical design, with Capital, with Expedition, with Teamcenter, with Polarion. And then we're excited that we've announced our SysML v2 solution. So many people in the industry are excited about SysML v2. People feel that SysML 1 is too constrained. And so we're excited that we've announced our SysML v2 solution. And then Polarion. Polarion is, I think, the fastest growing product that we have in our entire portfolio. And why? Polarion is really helping our customers orchestrate the software design process and integrate it with hardware. So you see across the top the typical DevOps pipeline: plan, design, code, build, test, release, collaborate. And you see tools up there like Dev Studio, tools like Jenkins, tools like JFrog Artifactory. What Polarion does starts with a software requirement, traces into those tools in regulated industries, all the way down to test, so that when a regulator asks, hey, can you show that your software meets all these regulations? The answer is absolutely yes. And oh, by the way, Polarion understands Teamcenter and Teamcenter understands Polarion. So you see in Teamcenter that you have all of the variant management and the ability to understand the variation and system management. So really exciting story. Common question we get is requirements. Where should I put my requirements? Should I put my requirements in Polarion or should I put them in Teamcenter? And the answer is a lot of customers choose to put their requirements in Polarion, both the software and the hardware, and then they flow those into Teamcenter. Some do it the reverse. Either way works. But the key is that we can make those requirements flow between those systems and we can make that work. So here's a great example of a software-defined product. And this is maybe it's here to make you think a little bit. So this is a software-defined product. Check it out. So if I watch this rocket coming down, there's not a guy with a joystick that's, bringing this thing down. I assure you, there's no one with a joystick bringing this down. This is a software-defined product. And if you really think about it, software-defined has redefined this industry. If you're making rockets and you're not software-defined, you're going to be out of business, because it's enabling new business models and new experiences. That's how important software-defined is. So let's take a look at this in an example. So here we have Polarion on the right. We have Rhapsody on the left. And so we have our example of the control system for a rocket. And you can see the ability to drag a requirement from Polarion onto Rhapsody to create traceability. Everybody is interested in that digital thread and being able to bring that together. And check this out. The FAA is, we're going to see here in a second, a circular from the FAA where they change a regulation. This happens to, I think, all of you all the time. Hey, the time where you talk to this rocket from the ground has to be faster. Go check all your requirements and update your product. Using Polarion Requirements Consistency Checker, which is a new AI capability, we can look at that FAA document, we can look at the requirements in Polarion, and we can find any of the requirements that are impacted by that change. That's really hard to do, and that's really exciting, but AI in Polarion makes it work. Now let's see how Polarion orchestrates that. We found 3 requirements in Polarion that are impacted by the FAA change, and now Polarion can orchestrate. This particular customer is using Azure DevOps to be able to manage their software. Polarion pushes those changes into Azure DevOps for the coders that are working over there. Now the coders that are over there in Azure go and make that change relative to that FAA requirement. We come back and we see that we're all green. Great example of Polarion and Rhapsody working together on that software-defined product.